Welcome to the Wrestling Still Cool podcast. My name's Cam. That's Mark.
Hey, y'all doing? Thanks y'all for joining in.
All right, before we get underway, you can follow us on Twitter at WrestlingSCool and go ahead and take it over for the rest.
For Instagram, it's at Wrestling Still Cool. Facebook is Wrestling Still Cool. TikTok is at Wrestling Still Cool 90, and you can get us on email at wrestlingstillcool@gmail.com and let us know what guests you'd like to see and what episodes you'd like to be reviewed. We'd love to hear from you if I can spit it out right.
Right. So, as of this recording, which is the 17th, WWE has released information about the upcoming WrestleManias, including WrestleMania in Tampa Part 2. It looks like it's going to be taking place from Raymond James from April 10th to April 11th. They're doing the 2-day event again.
2-day event. Tampa, Florida's getting a do-over from last year's with the pandemic issue. See what's going to happen for this year. We're going to be allowed to do it, at least at the last minute. Probably limited seating, but they're still going back to Tampa, Florida.
The one thing I don't like about them doing the 2-day thing, that means they're not going to have an NXT takeover on Saturday.
Yeah, that's not going to be the case unless they do an early show or they do it on a Friday night.
But isn't Friday night the Hall of Fame?
Well, maybe not be, because there's been years past they do it on a different night. So sometimes I think they were supposed to. Then they do it like a few days prior to that. So if it does Friday nights, the NXT could be on Thursday night. You never know. But then, of course, you got SmackDown coming on Friday too.
Watch them be petty and put it on Wednesday night to compete with AEW.
Wouldn't be surprised. But I think that it's, the only way to think that they would have a fair chance at ratings because it's WrestleMania week.
Right.
For the go home show.
Yeah, I love the takeovers, and I'm kind of disappointed that kind of looks like they're not going to be doing it on Saturday. Now, granted, this might be in my backyard, but I'm going to be honest with you. If the pandemic is the way it is, there's no way I'm going up there.
Oh, man. You should go out there with your brother. Your mama can watch that. I don't
during
think
a pandemic. I do not want to swim in that Petri dish.
Oh, why not? I know they got you. Honestly, I don't think I'll be able to make it down there, but, I'm going to try. But it'd be kind of cool to go back. Obviously, that's where I'm from, too, is the Tampa Bay area. So it'd be nice to go and watch WrestleMania. I haven't been to WrestleMania since WrestleMania 24 in Orlando. Been, 9
I haven't been at all.
Ago. Yeah, so I'd like to go back. And we'll see what happens in time. If I don't know what Tampa's going to allow them to do if the pandemic gets even goes back to being worse. So I'm not sure that if it's going to get sent back they could go back to being the Tropicana Field. That's why when I heard the announcement going to the Raymond James, I'm like, obviously it's going to be a limited seating, but also if something pops up like it did last year, they could be doing it at Tropicana Field. So we'll see how that pans out. But I'm not sure what the seating capacity is going to be for the show, but it's going to be a 2-night show, and so they did last year. Too big for one night, as they called it. So it's interesting too that they announced 3 years worth. They did for next year is going to be
Texas, I think, or LA.
It's going to be in Hollywood, as they did. It's been a long time since they've been out that way. So it was WrestleMania 22. They were at, I think it's 22. They were at Hollywood. So they're going back, but they have not announced it, for next year for the date. Oh, they didn't announce it for 2 dates. They announced a date, so they did not add in for Hollywood, and then the following year is going to be in Dallas. They announced that there's going to be 2 dates from now. They just gave 1 date for Hollywood and Dallas. So, but Tampa's got 2 dates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was April 10th and 11th. So we'll see.
If you guys check out the announcement, you can also see Triple H wearing a really, really bad newscaster's wig and glasses. If you want to go check that out. I saw some comments about the way Stephanie McMahon looked, so we'll leave it at
that. It was an odd report, but saw John Cena on there, huh?
Well, people made fun of Triple H, but we're what's the word I'm looking for? very pleased with Stephanie McMahon.
I don't know. She looked good, but that's all. I guess goofy in its own way, but she looked good still.
One of the comments I read is, "Man, Stephanie McMahon should do the sexy librarian look more."
Yeah, she should. I was actually watching a video on Instagram yesterday and saw her from like many years ago. She was with DX, and she had those what's this called, sexy video shoots she was doing
for her entrance. I remember you talking about.
Yeah, that was.
It's when Triple H had My Time.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, definitely. Stephanie should have that librarian look.
I mean, I digged her back in the day. I don't know. I don't find her appealing anymore. But that's just me.
I
guess so. Triple H did face Randy Orton on Raw, and apparently that the fireball thing that they had going on with Alexa Bliss was always a thing, whether or not it was going to be against Drew McIntyre or Triple H. Which, come on, fireballs.
The fireball she shot in Orton's face. Yeah,
it was always planned. It was always planned.
Huh. I want to see the reason for Drew for doing, being behind, having that same issue. That was their plan, though. That was an odd deal. It was seeing Triple H was a sledgehammer or what? Yeah, that catch on fire, and he just all of a sudden disappeared, and he had Alexa Bliss. I thought it was going to be Fiend for a second. It was like, okay, there's Alexa Bliss. And, she shot that fireball thing and hit his face. I'm like, okay, so that means he's going to be out for the Royal Rumble, or he's going to be in. We haven't heard that one yet, but I imagine, if they're going to sell his injury, I would say he wouldn't be there. But, it was the Royal Rumble's only, a couple weeks away, so I'm not sure what their plan is. We'll find out coming up this week, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with this, because
absolutely. I would say he should be in there, and that's where the Fiend can return that at the Royal Rumble. But I'm not sure what they're going to sell that on, though.
I don't. Well, I mean, Royal Rumble's a couple weeks away, so they can kind of keep him off TV until then.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes back to, with this pandemic being the way it is, I don't know how they're gonna have guests. I want to say guests, but surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble. Although I absolutely believe that they should definitely have Carlito be a part of it, especially all the attention they gained from Carlito being announced for Legends Night and not even show up.
Yeah. That's they should have him in there do it right. They haven't even announced if NXT is going to be part of the Rumble either, so I'm thinking there's going to be definitely spots open. I don't think. I mean, you said pandemic. To me, it's like, well, they had the legends come in there. They've had different guests come in there that are not your usual active roster, or not usually as out there. So I'm like, I say, why not? If you're going to have all those legends come in there, they had the Raw Legends tonight recently, so why not have a couple surprise entrants in there? But
we'll see if they'll do it. But
I don't see. I'll see there would be a problem, but we'll see what they're going to plan for that one. But Carlito would be cool to see him. Carlito, that'd be uncool.
Yeah. And with NXT, if they do allow some NXT guys in there, I'm guessing it'll probably be Adam Cole, because he was in there before.
Yeah.
I would like to see Ciampa do it, honestly. I think Ciampa would be fun to watch in a Royal Rumble match.
I can imagine him being in the backstage area. All right, Tanner, I'll do this Royal Rumble, but I'm not going to the main roster.
Another one would be the Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, that's another one too. He's popular in there. Yeah, you have Adam Cole, and there you have Roderick Strong too.
Yeah, so it would be kind of cool to see what they're able to do with them.
Yeah, looks like in there.
It looks like they announced Fastlane too for March 21st in Tropicana Field.
Really, I didn't see that. I saw the announcement for Elimination Chamber, but not Fastlane yet, huh? Gonna be in March, though, right?
Yeah, March 21st.
So you can have 2 pay-per-views before WrestleMania.
In between well, they've always had it between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Always Elimination Chamber. Fastlane was never really that great, though.
No, they didn't have them too many. I mean, yeah, to go back to, I know they've always had a pay per view in February, but they didn't have the 2 pay per views until last year. They had the event in Saudi Arabia. This year they have Fastlane too. Okay, actually, to me that takes the point away because you win the Royal Rumble, or at least you have that, and then of course that sets up time for a few months before you get to have your match. Hopefully, no storylines change, and then of course you win the title. You win or you retain your title at the Rumble, and it's like, I'm going to WrestleMania. Well, not yet, but you still have 2 more pay-per-views until the
I'm
big
going
event.
to Disney World. Kind of like that.
Something like that, yeah. But I just saying it's to me, we have too many pay-per-views. It's like, yeah, you can always change your choice or whatever storyline you got, but it's like you can't really say I'm going to WrestleMania since I won the title where I defended the title and retained the title at the Rumble. So it's just, to me, it's like can't really say you're going until I'm walking the Rumble and I'm going to win my championship match. I'm going straight to WrestleMania. No, you're not going to do that, but you still have a few more months of 2 pay-per-views. So to me, I just never was. I kind of liked it when they did I know they defended the title before and for the February pay-per-views, but I always thought it was interesting when they would have the match for whoever. We obviously have 2 titles, so it's like, okay, we have our Rumble winner. They chose which title that they want to go for. Now you got 1 more title, so it's like, okay, that's what your next pay per views for, is figure out who's going to be wrestling for the other title. So I was like, but like I said, it defeats the purpose when you say, I won or I retained the title at Royal Rumble. Well, you're not. Like I said, once again, it's just, to me, I never saw the truth behind all that.
Well, I guess for me, the way I looked at it is the 2 pay-per-views that sit between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania are like B and D shows. Like the Elimination Chamber can be pretty good, but they haven't really built up a lot between the time of Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. So usually the match is just a match, whereas the original Elimination Chamber was like for when they did it with Triple H, it was just like, oh, okay, well, he kind of dug himself into a hole here. And they don't really do that. Although with SmackDown, I do think the prospects of Elimination Chamber would be a really good one. They're not really good shows. Fastlane, almost nothing happens at Fastlane. So
the only thing I can remember back at Fastlane that they had years ago was they had Cena versus Miz and I Quit match. That's where they had A-Rai with Miz, and that's where how that match went. Obviously, Cena retained, but that's only what I found it interesting when they had Fastlane. Oh, actually, they had that Cena and Orton match. Was it no DQ or Last Man Standing or whatever it was? Yeah, but I know what you mean. Though there's nothing overly interesting that they've had in the past with Fastlane.
I had to double check. The only other thing I could think of that happened at Fastlane is when Goldberg beat Owens for the championship against his match with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that match lasted 40 seconds.
Yeah, it was nothing, but still, usually not a very good pay-per-view. I guess because we mentioned this about the Hall of Fame, Eric Bischoff doesn't think he'll ever go into the Hall of Fame. And I guess realistically, he said he doesn't think about it until people ask him, like, "Hey, you're going in this year?" He goes, "Am I? No, I don't think I'm going in."
I think he actually mentioned something a little bit along those lines. If I can remember, was when they were going to bring the NWO into the Hall of Fame, he wasn't invited to get inducted.
Which he should have been.
I know. That's. I mean, the only thing I only think 2 things I can think of. One is he wasn't a wrestler. I'm not saying that's not. I'm not saying that's right, because obviously they have managers and so forth, so on inside the Hall of Fame. And number 2, maybe they knew that the NWO wasn't actually his idea. I mean, it was. I mean, the